Alright, time to continue my collection update series for this year. We have 4 stacks to get through now, so here we go. Up first for today, we have Left Behind the movie, or Left Behind 1, because this cast has a trilogy. There's also another version that has Nicolas Cage in it, but I don't have that version yet. I found it one day and I was like, oh, but I want to get some of these titles more, because these ones are... Anyway, that particular day I got a bunch of really fun stuff, but here's the front and the back of the case. I don't recognize very much of the cast back here, so actually I don't recognize anyone's names on here. I recognize one of the actors' faces, but which seems to be a common thread with these movies for some reason. I recognize this older guy here. I don't know his name. Anyway, let's move on from that, I guess. Up next is Left Behind 2, Tribulation Force, right here. I think a few of the characters are returning. Like this guy, he's the main character from the first, and all 3 of them, I think. I would recognize in this one that joined the cast for it. Doesn't look like it. Okay then. Well, also no rating information. Interesting. The first one also didn't have any rating information. Oh, how bizarre. Okay, well. Content-wise, they're easily PG-13 or lower, so. In fact, the third one does have a rating on it, and it does say PG-13, so I imagine they're all the same. I know none of them are rated R, that's for sure. But here's this one. This one added Louis Gossett Jr. to the mix. Who else? Anyone I recognize the name and stuff? Nope. Okay, so Left Behind 3, World at War. So yeah, moving on. I have seen all 3 of those. I just not recently enough to have fresh thoughts on them. Up next we have Let's Scare Julie, right here. I feel bad for Julie. I have seen this. It's I think kind of a lower budget horror movie where it's like, hey, let's scare the crap out of this character, and it's a one take thing, so that's interesting. I'll read the blurbs on the back here. It says, everyone loves a good scare, but when a group of teen girls sets out to frighten their reclusive new neighbor, what seems like a simple prank goes horribly wrong, and not all of them will make it home. And Let's Scare Julie, a white-knuckle thriller filmed in one uninterrupted terrifying take, one shot. The terror is real, from writer-director Judd Cremento. I probably butchered that name, my bad. Features an outstanding cast of young, up-and-coming performers, including Troy Leanne Johnson, from A Babysitter's Guide to a Monster Hunting. Ooh, I want to get that movie. That sounds cool. Isabel May, from Alexa and Katie. Odessa Azion from Grand Army. Brooke Sorensen from Mighty Med, and Jessica Sarah Flume from What/If. I don't recognize any of their names, but I have seen the movie. And this one would fall into more of like a soft R rating, because it has a little bit of language, but not like a bunch of gore or whatever, or sexual content. It's kind of creepy, and they swear a bit, so there you go. Next up, another case where the case design looked pretty much the same, so I kept the Blu-ray, which is also a director's or extended director's cut of Little Shop on the Horrors, or Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis, uh, Steve Martin, John Candy. There's the names that I recognize here. Oh, Bill Murray. Um, yeah, no, those are the names that I recognize. Yeah, this is the director's cut. It takes the theatrical version of 94 minutes and bumps it up to 103 minutes. Both are PG-13, but they have a more in-depth explanation for why the director's cut is PG-13. And on the back here, you can see it just says PG-13 for theatrical cut, and this is the box for the director's cut thing. Interesting. So, Frank Oz, I think, either directed this or puppeteered the plant. Or both, perhaps. Why am I spacing on the name of the plant? It's kind of iconic. Okay, well, anyway, I think it's like Audrey 2 or something. The plant. Anyway, moving on. Don't want to get too bogged down on trying to figure that out. Next up, we have Living Death. And that does not look fun right there. I don't seem to recognize any of the names on the back of here for the actors in this. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be this person. 85 minutes, not rated. I think this one, like with Let's Scare Julie, would also be in line with an R, because I think it, just from the torture side of things, that looks pretty graphic for the torture sequences, so I'm guessing that would push it over the edge to R, but this is an unrated copy. In 2006, wow, this movie's older than I thought it was. Okay, then. Next up, we have Looper. This is a great movie. There should be more time travel type stories like this one, or time loop, whatever you want to call it. Got Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emily Blunt. There's are the three names that I recognize. But I'll read the blurb for this one as well because it sounds really cool, and it is a very cool movie. So we got, in the futuristic action thriller Looper, time travel has been invented, but it's illegal and only available on the black market. When the mob wants to get rid of someone, they send their target 30 years into the past, where a looper, in quotation marks, a hired gun like Joe, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his character's name is Joe, so is Bruce Willis's, because they're the two ages of the same guy, is waiting to mop up. Joe is getting rich and life is good until the day the mob decides to close the loop, sending back Joe's future self, Bruce Willis, for assassination. With most of the targets, they send them back with, I think, 200 pounds worth of silver or something like that strapped to their backs. But if they send your future self back for you to kill, they do that same thing, and your weight in gold instead of or like, I think it's your weight in silver versus your weight in gold they send back. If they don't send yourself, or they don't send future you back, then it's that person's body weight in silver and future you's body weight in gold when they send you back. Anyway, it's a fun movie. I don't think fun is the right word for it, but it's a really good movie. Oh, it also has this guy. I don't know this guy's name, but he was the director of NASA in The Martian. And then we have up next we have Lucy with Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman. What else is in this? I do also have a standalone DVD for it, but this is a Blu-ray DVD combo, and the design of the case look the same, so you know what happens when that occurs. Yeah, the basically this is what would happen if mankind, or if people were able to use 100% of their brain capacity. According to this, they essentially turn into a supercomputer. But I'll read the little blurb on the back here as well. I won't do that for every title, but I feel like some of them are, to make it make sense, you kind of have to read it. From the visionary director of La Femme Nikita and The Professional, Leon the Professional, we covered in a previous video, starring Scarlett Johansson and an Academy Award winner Morgan Freeman, comes an action thriller about a woman accidentally caught in a dark deal who turns the tables on her captors. Altered by a dangerous new drug allowing her to use 100% of her brain capacity, Lucy transforms into a merciless warrior evolved beyond human logic. And like I said, I'm pretty sure she ends up as a supercomputer at the end. But it's an hour and a half. It's not a huge time commitment, and it's a pretty good movie. If you haven't checked it out, definitely recommend that one. Up next, we have Ma with Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer, right here. And here we go. Here's the back of the case. I'm not going to read this blurb. I'll read this little bit here. Everybody's welcome at Ma's, but good luck getting home safe. Who else is in this? Her. Luke Evans is in this. Her and Luke Evans are the only names I recognize on here, because I'm pretty sure Luke Evans is the brother of Chris Evans, aka Captain America, aka early 2000s Human Torch. And Deadpool Wolverine, Human Torch again. Up next we have Malignant, with a sticker over most of the title there, but it is Malignant there. From director James Wan. I don't recognize any of the names of the actors in this, but it was a really good movie, though. So yeah, here we go. Malignant. Up next, we have 3 Denzel Washington movies: Courage Under Fire, Man on Fire, and The Siege. All of them are rated R, and I think they all say they're for individual cases here as well. Yeah. Anyway, Man on Fire right here. They have these thin style cases, which I'm not super fond of, but they're better than the paper ones and the cardboard ones. This particular one has Denzel Washington, Dakota Fanning, Christopher Walken, and Mickey Rourke in it. Action thriller. Yeah. I'm trying to put these back in the same order I have them already. Next up is Courage Under Fire. Here's the case for this one. This one has Denzel Washington, Meg Ryan, Matt Damon. So there's that. And the last one here, last one from this 3-pack is The Siege with Bruce Willis, Denzel Washington, And those are the only two names I recognize. So here we go. Doesn't have a reason why it's rated R, or like it does. It just has the R icon. It doesn't have a little reasoning in it. The other two did. So that's interesting that only 2 of the 3 had a blurb like that. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have Mandy the Haunted Doll. This one I haven't seen quite yet. Looks like another one of those like low-budget horror thrillers, like direct-to-video type things. I don't recognize any of the characters in here, but it for some reason it reminded me of a cross between Annabelle and Chucky. So here we go. I've actually been rewatching the Child's Play movies the last few months. I watched the first 2. I rewatched the first 2 in December before the end of the year, and then I watched 3 a couple nights ago. I'm trying to rewatch that franchise to do a ranking and help make it so I can watch Chucky seasons 1, 2, and 3 in context, as they're based on the original franchise, the original run of 7 movies. I have seen the first season, and I've seen all the movies, all 8 movies, including the remake version. But I've only seen the first season of the show, and now I've got all 3 seasons, and I want to watch them like in context of the rest of the movies to, run a refresher course type thing. Up next, we have Max Payne with Mark Wahlberg. Includes both theatrical and unrated versions on this same disc. PG-13 for the original, and obviously unrated for the unrated cut. Duh, how did I figure that one out? But who else is in this with Mark Wahlberg? Nobody whose names I recognize anyway. But it looks pretty cool right here. So, yeah. And it's another one of those action thrillers. So, then I have both Megan movies triple formatted. Here's the first one on DVD. Theatrical and unrated versions included. I've seen both. Both are really good. Both versions are good. I've only seen the theatrical cut of the second one so far. I haven't gone back and revisited the unrated version yet. But I thoroughly enjoyed both of these Megan movies. So yeah. Like I said, I do have a 4K steelbook for both as well. So here's the steelbook for the first one. Some design stuff on the back, and even some stuff on the inside there. So that's cool. Steelbooks are cool. I wish they didn't have a slip thing like this, but because it likes to slide off. I wish it had something like holding it on the bottom as well. My Falcon and the Winter Soldier steelbook did that, where it has something holding it on the bottom and the top, but oh well. Up next, we have the DVD for Megan 2.0. This one has a slipcover right here. And my favorite line from the trailer was in the movie itself as well, which is funny because only one of the characters that it's said to has the line, or what the line implies. Oh well, the unrated cut for the second one is only 1 minute longer. It goes from 2 hours to 2 hours and 1 minute. What's the runtime difference between this one? The runtime difference is 0 for this one, for the first one. 140 or hour 42 to hour 42. Weird. Okay. Okay, so yeah. So I do plan on watching the unrated cut of this eventually. it's because of how much I enjoy the franchise itself. Um, I thought I recognized one of the other, or one of the new additions to the cast for this one, but it would help if I knew her name too, because I can recognize the person's face, but if I don't know the name, it doesn't do me much good. I recognize this character, but I don't know what her name is. So, moving on. Next up is the 4K Steelbook for Megan 2, or 2.0 right here, and the back has that body, because that comes in the beginning, where it's like, really, you put my consciousness in this body so I can attack you again, type thing. And then here's the inside of the steelbook. Again, I don't know the actress who plays this character, but she looks familiar, but I don't know what her name is. Yeah, oops. There's an insert in this one. Yeah, the two Megan movies are definitely really good movies in it. And at least in the MCU, there's already a third. So I hope they make a third one in real life too, because I'd be all for it. Up next, we have Misery, based on the novel by Stephen King. Right here. Yeah, Kathy Bates, with the hammer there, and what's this in this thing? I don't recognize the male actor, or don't know his name. If his character's Buster, then he's played by a guy named Richard Farnsworth. I don't recognize that name at all. But pretty good movie. Not one of the best Stephen King adaptation, or like Stephen King movies, but it's definitely really good. So it has a lot going for it. Up next, another Stephen King adaptation, and this is The Mist, right here. This is a Blu-ray slipcover version, where the case does look different underneath. I don't think there's there's no design on the inside, but good movie. Includes the color version, the alternate black and white version, and all documentaries and supplements, like supplemental material type stuff. I didn't realize there was a black and white version. I thought it was just color all the way. Interesting. I'll have to watch the black and white version to see if it plays out differently in black and white than it does in color. Because that actually does sound kind of cool. We have Thomas Jane in this. Toby Jones. This would be after Thomas Jane was in his Punisher movie, and before Toby Jones was Arnim Zola, but after he was originally Dobby in Harry Potter, because he voices Dobby. So, very cool. Next up, we have Monster with Charlize Theron right here. I think hers is the only name I recognize on the back of the case here. Yep. Okay, then. It's weird that her character doesn't have eyebrows, and it looks in this, and it's a little like off-putting. Like, why do you not have eyebrows? That's a little creepy. But in the context of the movie, it does kind of make sense a little bit. They don't like explain it, but they like why she doesn't have eyebrows, but it makes sense still. So yeah, here we go. Next we have Monster High, and this is a bizarre movie. Like, this is just bizarre. I don't recognize any of the actors in here, any of the names at least. And my gosh, this is a weird movie. So there we go. Moving on. Next up, a movie I thoroughly enjoy and have been watching for numerous years, and that is Monster House. Technically, this would be my first horror movie. But yeah. As far as the voice cast is concerned, we have Maggie Gyllenhaal, Kevin James, Jason Lee, Catherine O'Hara. So a lot of Steve Buscemi, bunch of big names there. So here's the back of the case here. Yeah, I'd say this is more like soft horror, where it's family friendly horror, like Jurassic Park and Jaws and whatnot. Up next we have Monsters Hunter, and this one left me wanting more. So hopefully a Monster Hunter 2 is in the pipeline coming out soon, eventually. Came out in 2020. A lot of good action sequences, and creature design's quite good. I believe she's in the Resident Evil franchise, isn't she? I'm pretty sure. We'll get to the Resident Evil franchise in another video, but I'm pretty sure Mila Jovovich is in a lot of, or at least the live action Resident Evil movies, except for Welcome to Raccoon City, because that's a prequel to the original, or reboot, I should say, which implies multiverse, in my mind at least. But yeah, really good movie. One that's not quite as good but still enjoyable is Love and Monsters. Michael Rooker is in this. Yondu. Who else? Is Yondu's name seriously the only one I recognize on the back of here? It is. Okay. Well, it has Yondu going for it. He's this guy here. Yeah, another 2020 release. Yeah. Up next, we have Monster Party from the producer of Sinister. And who isn't a monster in this one is the better question. Because they all do horrific things in it. Again, this would easily fall under rated R, because look at all the blood splatters on this guy. And on her even. It's harder to tell on her because she's wearing red, but she has an axe with blood on it. And he's holding a katana. But just because he's holding a katana doesn't necessarily mean it would have to be rated R. But if you've seen the movie, it's definitely an R rating, even though it says it's not rated. But who's in this one? I recognize none of these names. But yeah, this guy looks like he just got killed brutally somehow. So yeah. Moving on. Next up, we have a Shudder original, Monstrum, and it is decent enough. It's about a plague has taken over, and fear runs rampant in the streets. When rumors of a vicious monster roaming Mount in Wangsan, it's I think set in Korea, so it has English and Korea as the spoken language, and Korean as the spoken languages. begin to spread, fear turns into panic. In order to quell the rising hysteria, the king brings his most trusted general out of retirement, joined by his daughter, his right-hand man, and a royal court officer. The general sets out to find and defeat the mysterious creature. And I think it was like some sort of, if I remember correctly, some sort of like wolf or something, like giant wolf of some kind, or a bear that had some sort of um, disease or something that made it go crazy. So yeah, it really good though. One of the better Shudder original movies. And this one came out in 2018. Next up, from After Dark Horror Fest, is Mulberry Street, right here, and this one is weird. Like, it has human rat hybrid type things, where people are mutating into human rats, and I'm just like, what the heck is this movie? But I enjoyed it, at least. It was bizarre, but it was enjoyable. Yeah. And lists a bunch of other horror, After Dark Horror Fest type things. And inside here, it shows 2 different listings of 8 that are just called After Dark Horror Fest, and not like After Dark Horror Fest 1 and 2. So I don't know how many different bundles for these there are, but it's obvious. It's clearly more than one that can have if because it has After Dark Horror Fest in yellow and one in red, and then After Dark Horror Fest 3. There's yellow, red. I think there's might be blue text ones. It's like, okay. Then we have The Mummy Deluxe Edition. This is Brendan Fraser, The Mummy 1. I do have a DVD as well, but cases look the same, so I kept the Blu-ray one. And I don't think my DVD case even had the runtime on it, so this one does. So that also played into why I kept this one as well. So we got Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, and they are the 2 lead characters in this. Or the human characters, I should say. I don't know the name of the guy that plays the mummy itself. But anyway, moving on. Here's the back of the case in case I didn't show that. Up next, we have The Mummy Returns. This one added Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to the mix, as well as the returning guy that played the mummy in the first one. Hence, The Mummy Returns. It's about the same mummy. And yeah, this was also an earlier attempt to reboot the Universal Classic Monsters collection, but it was just a trilogy in itself. There's another one that we'll come up to here in a second, but in the next pile. But here we go. Speaking of the next pile, it's time to grab this big boy and bring it over here. Up next is Brendan Fraser's The Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. This one added Jet Li as the title Dragon Emperor. And those swords that Brendan Fraser's holding look awesome. Love those swords. Who else is in the cast for this one? Okay, just those 2 are the ones that whose names I recognize. But anyway, here's back of the case, front of the case. And then we have a Blu-ray DVD combo, plus I had an original DVD that design looked the same, so I kept the Blu-ray case for the Tom Cruise Mummy, yet another attempt to resurrect the Universal Classic Monsters collection, or rebooted, I should say. And this one's not terrible. I mean, it looks like the mummy girl here has four, like two pupils per eye, like two eyes in each eye, which is a creepy and cool aesthetic look. We got Russell Crowe. Is that who that is? Russell Crowe. Yes. Um, Sometimes I speak faster than I can verify my claims. So definitely Russell Crowe right here. And I mean it's not a terrible movie. Neither are any of the Brendan Fraser ones, but for some reason they weren't able to reboot the Universal Classic Monsters collection with them, like I would have hoped. But moving on, we have Rise of the Mummy. This doesn't have anything to do with the previous mummies. It's just a random mummy title. And it's also one of the more boring ones. I'm not gonna lie. Plus, it came out in 2020, so casting was kind of limited. Um, but yeah, came out during the hoaxdemic because you can tell they have hoaxes on their faces. Up next is the complete series for the Munsters. Seasons 1 and 2 are in this box set here. I'll take the individual cases out in just a moment. Looks like there's also a couple of Munsters movies in here after season 2, which there were 6 discs for both seasons, like 6 for season 1 and 6 for season 2. So I'm guessing the 2 Munsters movies that are listed on the bottom here are included in the season 2 discs. And the movies are Munster Go Home and The Munsters Revenge. But look at these cases over here and show those. Here's the case for season 1 right here. And 38 episodes, 6 discs, 16 hours and 6 minutes. Unaired pilot episode bonus feature, that's cool. And family portrait episode in full color. So the majority of the series is black and white, which, I mean, kind of makes sense from these pictures on the back here. Those are all black and white, clearly. Although this looks like it's in color, or at least partially in color. Anyway, when did this come out? Oh, this particular season bundle came out in 2013, but that was for the collection itself, not the show. Anyway, this case is only part of it. So I don't think I should be opening this one again for a while because it's falling apart. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to break it any more than it already is. I've dropped these cases a time or two, so it's probably from that. Or the damage is probably from that. So here's the case for season 2. It doesn't look like this one's damaged at all, but there's Frankenstein, or a Frankenstein-looking character at least. This one has 32 episodes, and the two movies in Technicolor. Oh, the two Munster movies are in Technicolor here. Interesting. Okay then. Here's the back of this case, and disc 6 is the 2 movies. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. That looks funny. All right. Oh, the inside of the case here says 1980. 1981, and I can't tell what that other one says because it's clear, unclear and blurry. Okay, well. So it looks like maybe 60s or 80s. Like that. But there we go. I have them. Up next, we have the Rob Zombie Monsters reboot movie. Right here. I imagine this one's in color throughout, but because it's from 2022, but I could be wrong. I haven't watched any of my monster stuff yet. Written and directed by Rob Zombie. I'm guessing this is probably one of his more tame movies, because usually Rob Zombie can get pretty inappropriate with his movies. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock is in one of those annoying paper cases. Also has Ryan Gosling in here. From 2002. So here's that. And inside we have that image. So there we go. Next up we have My Bloody Valentine. This is the original from 1981. The reboot is better, which is weird, because usually the originals are like, oh, you can't touch the original, and the reboot doesn't hold a candle to it. The reboot is, in my mind at least, much better. We'll get to that in just a second, though. But yeah, this one came out in 1981. It's an hour and a half. I don't recognize any of the cast members in this, but here we go. Front, back. I have seen both versions. That's why I know this one is so much better. It includes 4 pairs of 3D glasses that have advertisements for Saw 9, which hit theaters October 23rd of 2009, apparently. So that means that this version must have come out before October 23rd of 2009, because it also has a 2009 release date. But here's the 3D glasses, and that looked really strange through those. But wow. Okay. But yeah, much better version of the movie. Jensen Ackles is in this one as the bad guy, and yeah, I like this one so much more. It does have an option to watch it in 2D, I think, if I remember correctly. But moving on, we have Oliver Stone presents Natural Born Killers Director's Cut. Contains exclusive unseen, unedited footage. Woody Harrelson, Robert Downey Jr., Tommy Lee Jones. 3 really big names right there. It has the chapter listings on the outside of the case. That's cool. It just says director's cut. It doesn't have like a not rated or rated R or whatever on it. It just says director's cut where the rating would go right there. So there we go. Natural Born Killers. All right, up next we have Night Owl, and I believe this has Joe Russo in it as one of the characters. Joe Russo is one of the Russo brothers who directed Captain America 2, Captain America 3, Infinity War, Endgame, and is currently doing Doomsday, Secret Wars, and the X-Men reboot for the MCU. And him and his brother, Anthony, will be staying on beyond that as well. It sounds like. This one says PD-M, parental discretion mature, ages 13 and over, for language, violence, and brief nudity. It's weird that they didn't just say PG-13 instead of PD-M. That's weird. But here we go. See, PD-M. Now, next up we have Night Stalker, the complete series. Do I recognize any cast members listed? No, it's TP-14 for violence, which is basically PG-13, and if it was a movie, featuring 4 episodes never seen on TV that complete the series. 426 minutes, 2 discs. I'll have to check this one out because it sounds pretty good. It looks pretty good. Moving on, next up we have The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp. Who else is in this one with him? See, Johnny Depp. We already knew that. And his is the only name I recognize on here. What in the world? Okay, well, I have seen this. It's interesting. Here's the back of the case and the front of the case there. It lists a ton of titles on the back of this. I'll have to look into some of these and see if I can look at any of them. List the scenes here. Some of these I might even already have. Yeah, some of the movies listed on this. Look at all those. Those are all movie titles being listed from top here down to where my finger is over here. Those are all movie titles that it lists. I'll have to check out these and see how many of them I actually already have and how many I might be interested in getting. Cool. I know I have the 3 Rambo movies that are in here. But I've got all 5 of them. But anyway, moving on. Spending a little too much time on that. Up next is a 3-movie collection of Jordan Peele horror movies with Get Out, Us, and Nope. And that was in release order, not the order that they say they appear here. Slipcover looks different than the cover itself. Right here. The back of the case does look similar to the slipcover, but yeah. I have them grouped together with this one under Nope, since this is another Jordan Peele movie. But cool. Since I showed it, here's Him. This one's a football movie. I'm not, like, sports goes over my head. But it's okay. It's an okay movie. Again, I'm not a sports guy, so it's not quite on my wavelength, but I'll still continue to get Jordan Peele movies because I liked 3 of his 4. Him is okay. It's with it being a sports movie, it's like, whoo. Up next is No Way Out with Kevin Costner and Gene Hackman. Who else is in this? There's the only 2 names that I recognize. Okay, then. But here's No Way Out. If I remember correctly, Kevin Costner's character is framed for um, getting frisky with the first lady, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. I could be misremembering, but I think that's kind of the plot of this. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have The Number 23, a Jim Carrey movie, and it's bizarre. You start seeing the number 23 everywhere, and like he's like, "Oh, what do you get when you do when with this 23? What do you get over here? 23? Like it's everywhere." It weird. Psychological thriller, absolutely. He reads a book called The Number 23 and makes him start seeing 23 everywhere he looks. Very interesting, but at the same time very bizarre. But it's interesting because it's bizarre, so there you go. So yeah, The Number 23. Up next we have M. Night Shyamalan's Old. This was a fun movie with an interesting twist. The case looks the same as the slipcover. Yeah, it does. Visionary filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan unveils a chilling, mysterious thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they are relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. What's kind of on the creepier side of that is there's a couple of characters that are like kind of like newborns in the beginning of the movie that end up having kids of their own by the end of the movie. It's like, whoa, that's kind of like wow. Don't recognize any of the names on the back of the case here, other than the director. Like, but moving on. Up next is all three open water movies: Open Water Adrift, and Open Water 3 Cage Dive, 2 Adrift, 3 Cage Dive. It took me forever to find the third one, and I still haven't found a DVD for it. This had one disc. All three titles were on the same disc. The first two are pretty good. I have seen those, but I haven't seen the third one yet. I could very easily watch it now that I have all three, but I kind of want to try and find a DVD for the third one because I'm not sure if I'll have to watch it on my PlayStation or if my 4K player will cooperate and play the audio on the Blu-ray of it. But yeah, I don't recognize any of the cast members on any of these. Not on the first one, not on the second. I mean, and not on the third. So, but the first two are both really good shark movies. So I'm excited to try and check out the third one. I may just go ahead and do it or watch it without trying to get the DVD, and if it doesn't work on my 4K player for some reason, or the audio, I'll just put it in the PlayStation and it'll work just fine there. Up next, a show I hope gets a second season soon because it was very good, and that is Pretty Little Liars Original Sin right here. This is a slasher version of the show. And the first time I saw this actress was in Wizards of Waverly Place because at one point Alex and Justin Russo accidentally turned their brother Max into a little girl, and it's this actress. In this, she plays a pregnant high schooler. So yeah, what's the actress's name? Is it not gonna list the actresses? No, how rude. I hope they make a second season. This came out in 2022, so there's hope that they might make a second season. I really hope they do. This one was such a good show, and it had a cliffhanger that would have led towards a second season or hinted at a second season. So a great show here. Top marks. 10 out of 10 would easily recommend this one. Up next we have Orphan. I don't have Orphan First Kill, but I have seen it streaming. I should watch this one since I have seen the Orphan First Kill. But anyway, um, um, who's in this? Vera Farmiga is in this one. I'm sure I'm butchering her name, as well as a Peter Sarsgaard, not Starsgaard, Sarsgaard, Sarsgaard. But I'll probably watch this one tonight, maybe. But anyway, next up we have Outpost Black Sun. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, which is weird because I bought these two on the same day, and this one's a standalone Blu-ray. This one's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. So I was like, huh? What happened here? But yeah. This one I have watched. It's set in 1945 with a zombie apocalypse type thing striking the Nazi army. Zombie Nazi stormtroopers. And it's like, as if the Nazis weren't terrible enough, now you're making them zombies? Oh, yeah. They're already nightmarish. But good movie. I enjoyed it. Don't recognize any of the actors' names on the back of the case, which is becoming more and more prevalent with these, I suppose. But here's the back of the case and the front of the case for the first one. I imagine this is a sequel. This one's about the Soviet, or like Russian Soviets, it looks like. Outpost Rise of the Spetsnaz. I definitely butchered that, but this one, oh, this one's the third installment? Is this one the first installment? Yeah. So I guess there's one between these two. My bad. I thought I got 1 and 2, but it's actually 1 and 3. Good thing I haven't watched this one yet. I would most likely be lost if I had watched this one without seeing the second. Okay then. So more zombie horror or Nazis. Zombie horror. Once again, I don't recognize any of the actors listed. Now I know that I have the space for these in the wrong position because I have this Blu-ray immediately after or not with its space for DVD immediately after the discs for this one. So I need to, and I have 2 spaces after this one because I thought this was the second, but it's the third. So I'll have to move this disc over 1 position, or 2 positions technically. So I have 3 spaces in between this and this, because a DVD for this one, and then a Blu-ray and a DVD for number 2, the second one. So complicated. Moving on. Up next, another really good underrated horror movie is Override. Kind of close quarters. It's mostly set in a home. She's a robot, played by Justin Impaizza, and she does a great job playing a killer robot who tries to kill the vice president's son. Anyone that appears on her, and she's in a reality show, so her memory gets erased at the end of each episode, which is a full day. And she starts over like as if it was the very first day or the first day or whatever. Every time. Raya is no ordinary woman. She is a humanoid, programmed to be a dutiful housewife, reliving the same day over and over. Each day, Raya wakes up to her normal routine, but finds a different man, her husband, Jack, by her side, until one day her AI programming is hacked, causing Riot to hold the latest Jack, because they're all named Jack. There's even a couple of female Jacks in it, which, oh well. Is the son of the vice president for ransom, threatening to kill him on live TV. I recognize this guy's face, but I don't know who he is. It's like his name. That is a very common thing that's been happening in the last several titles. But yeah, good movie, really good. I enjoyed it. Then we have Pan's Labyrinth, New Line 2-disc Platinum Series edition. Is this in English at all? Subtitles English, language spoken language Spanish. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to definitely watch it with the subtitles then, because otherwise I won't understand anything that's happening in it. From acclaimed director Guillermo del Toro, from credits him for Blade 2 and Hellboy, early 2000s Hellboy, obviously, because this one looks like an 2006 title, I guess. Roman numeral titles just throw me through a loop. I don't understand Roman numerals beyond 10. But yeah, dark fantasy thriller. So here's the back of the case here. Rated R for graphic violence and some language, which, unless I'm watching it with subtitles, I wouldn't know, because I don't speak Spanish. I only speak English, and even then it's kind of like words are hard. So up next we have Panic Room with Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart, Forrest Whitaker, Jared Leto. So I recognize a few names in this. This one came out in 2002, so here it is. It has an interesting case design like that. It's not very often I see cases like this, but I like the style of case. It looks cool, but it's not very often I see one like this. Like this looks weird and it feels weird in there. But like I said, I do like this type of case. It's just not very common. Up next, we have Paranormal Activity 1 2-disc digital copy edition. Blu-ray DVD combo. I love the first 6 Paranormal Activity movies. I think it kind of fell off a little bit with 7, because once again it came out during Hoaxvid. But yeah, here we go. It's another one of those found footage type movies, like the Blair Witch trilogy was. Katie Featherston, Micah Slot. They pronounce it Micah in the movie, but it looks like Micah. I have a friend named Micah that spelled it the same way. That's how I know the different pronunciations. Micah's a great guy. I like him. But yeah. And here's Paranormal Activity 2, Blu-ray DVD combo. I had DVDs for both of these beforehand. So this is a franchise that I'm trying to get triple formatted. I also have a Blu-ray DVD combo for the third one, which is set in 1988. It looks like, because it says 1988 on the thing here. The first two have obvious dates points posted in here. No, not really. Okay, well. Anyway, third one, set in 1988. To when the character of Katie was a child with her sister. And the hijinks that ensued there. And then we have Paranormal Activity 4. It has a Blu-ray cover, but I only have a DVD for this one so far. There's some cool visual stuff like this, where they use like night vision to track their night vision cameras, and that's what you could find in the night vision camera. So that was kind of cool. And I've seen both versions, the theatrical and the unrated, I think. Yes, because the DVD does have both versions, but I don't have the Blu-ray copy because I got a regular DVD. But that is a yet. I don't have that yet. So, next stack. Up next, we have Paranormal Activity 5, the marked ones. This is where they started getting subtitles like this. Like Avengers subtitle Age of Ultron or something. Yeah, this one's it's interesting. It's see, it's set. Where's the setting for this one? Doesn't say. But it's in like a Hispanic community, I think. But I like it. It's a good movie. Like I said, the only one I'm not super fond of is Paranormal Activity 7 next of kin, but we'll get there in a second. Up next is Paranormal Activity 6, The Ghost Dimension. For the first time, you will see the activity. So that's cool. You can actually see what's going on this time instead of just things randomly occurring. You can actually like see the buildup as it happens, which is cool. I only have a theatrical version for this because, again, I just have a DVD for this one so far, and this is a Blu-ray case for it. But like I said, it's a good movie though. I like it. One I'm not super fond of is I think that needs to go down. Is Next of Kin. I might need to give this one a rewatch to see if I like it any better now, but it came out 2021. So I don't recognize any of the cast in it. And like I said, this one's didn't quite work because it came out during HoaxVid. There were people wearing their hoaxes on their faces and whatnot. I don't like that sort of thing because it's way too over dramatized. And then we got 30 Nights of Paranormal Activity with the Devil Inside the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Very long title for a spoof movie. Yes, that is Bane and Abraham Lincoln. Based on true events that may not have happened. I like that. Based on true events that may not have happened. So that's funny. Cast wise, French Stewart is in it. He was the guy that played Inspector Gadget in Inspector Gadget 2. He took over from Matthew Broderick after the first one. This it's funny. It's weird. It's weird, but it's funny. It definitely fits most with the Paranormal Activity franchise, I would say. And I wish this was number 7 instead of Next of Kin, but hey, you know what? If they make a Paranormal Activity 8, I'll still see it. So Up next, we have Passengers 2008 with Anne Hathaway and Patrick Wilson. Um, and anyone else in this one that anyone else noteworthy? Not that I know of. Okay, then. I've seen part of this one, and it's much different than. Well, where'd the other one go? Okay, then. I must have put my other version with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence and Lawrence Fishburne elsewhere because it's not after this one for some reason. It must be with the G's through PG-13s, which we'll get to later on down the road. This one's a psychological thriller, and that version is not. The other version's not. What is this face he's making? Like, what? It's funny. Funny face, but okay. Up next, one I haven't seen is Pathfinder. Two worlds, one war. The ultimate battle begins. Um, a little bit of the slipcover is textured. It sticks out a little bit. But the case itself looks the same underneath. But who's in this thing? Carl Urban is in it. Clancy Brown is in it. I'll have to check this one out because just those two cast members are cool to see in things. So I want to check it out just knowing that they're in it. Okay, next up we have one that crapped out like 45 minutes in and like wouldn't like frozen. I couldn't go beyond that point. Like even with the scene selection, if I selected after where it froze, it wouldn't play. And that's Penny Dreadful. So I liked where it was going, but I hadn't been able to finish it because this copy is not good. Apparently, I need to get a Blu-ray DVD copy or Blu-ray combo copy, or order a fresh copy online and just get rid of this version, because actually, I liked the direction it was going. It was interesting. It was cool, and then it just froze with no explanation. So I don't recognize any of the cast members' names, but I definitely would like to see this movie in its entirety. Once again, a list of other After Dark Horror Fest movies is provided. So, cool. Moving on. Next up is Peppermint with Jennifer Garner. This one is, according to David Morales, Fox TV Houston, it's intense, suspenseful, and thrilling. It being thrilling lends it to it being in the horror section. Otherwise, it'd be in the R-rated section because it's rated R. But we have, of course, Jennifer Garner, and hers is the only name I recognize, but it is a very solid movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Set in LA because the LAPD is involved in it. And I believe she's a one woman hit squad for gang violence. Like she's taking out a bunch of like gangs and whatnot. I'll just read the description. It makes more sense if I were to do that. Young mother Riley North Garner awakens from a coma after her husband and daughter are killed in a brutal attack on the family. When the system frustratingly shields the murderers from justice, Riley sets out to transform herself from citizen to urban guerrilla, channeling her frustration into personal motivation. She spends years in hiding, honing her mind, body, and spirit to become an unstoppable force, eluding the underworld, the LAPD, and the FBI as she methodically delivers her personal brand of justice. From the director of Taken, this film is being hailed by critics as a total adrenaline rush from start to finish. Accurate. And it's really good. Really good movie. Up next, we have A Perfect Getaway, once again with Mila Jovovich. Hers is the only name on here I recognize, though. But here it is, right here. Oh, Chris Hemsworth is in this, actually. His name's not listed on the front, but his name is listed on the back. I know Chris Hemsworth. That's Thor. But yeah, other than Chris Hemsworth and Mila, I don't recognize any of the names on here. But it includes a theatrical and an unrated version, so that's cool. Next up, we have A Perfect Murder with Michael Douglas, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Gwyneth Paltrow. So Hank Pym and Pepper Potts from the MCU. Who else is in this with them? I don't know who Viggo Mortensen is, but he's in here as well. It's a good one. I'm of a mind that there is no perfect murder, because murder's never perfect to begin with. It's terrible. But it's a sleek thriller, so it earns its place here. Inspired by the play Dial M for Murder, filmed by Alfred Hitchcock in 1954. This one came out in 98. So it's one of those annoying paper cases, too. So here we go. Okay. Moving on. Next up, we have Pet Sematary Bloodlines. This is a prequel to the original movie. And let's see. Based on the untold chapter of Stephen King's novel Pet Sematary, this terrifying prequel reveals why sometimes dead is better. In 1969, young Judd Crandall dreams of leaving his hometown behind, but soon discovers sinister secrets buried within and is forced to confront a dark family history that forever binds him to Ludlow. But banding together, Judd and his childhood friends must fight an ancient evil that has gripped the town since its founding, and once unearthed, has the power to destroy everything in its path. Starring Jackson White, Forrest Goodlock, Jack Mulhern, Henry Thomas, and Natalie Allen Lind, with Pam Grier and David Duchovny. I definitely butchered a few of those names, but includes over 50 minutes of special features for an 87-minute movie. I haven't seen any of the Blood Cemetery movies, but as far as I know, I have them all. Got this one I just read, or just said. Then we have the original Pet Sematary here, which shows up again in one of my horror bundles. I don't recognize any of the names on the back here, but I would really want to cross paths with this kid or this guy, honestly. So then we have Pet Sematary 2 as well. Clancy Brown's in this one. 1992. It came out in 92. And then I also have the 2019 remake. And do I recognize any of the names on the back of the case for this one? Nope. Okay then. Alright, we're going to kind of go a little bit quicker through these next 50 titles, because they're 50 classic horror movies all in this thing, and they have the weird like sleeve things. They have these weird sleeve things. I don't like those either. But there's a bunch of movies on here. 12 DVDs. So let's go ahead and list these off here. We have Carnival of Souls, Atomic Age Vampire, Creature from the Haunted Sea, Nightmare Castle, Black Dragons, Invisible Ghost. Aren't ghosts generally invisible to begin with, unless they want you to see them? One Body Too Many, White Zombie, Attack of the Giant Leeches, The Screaming Skull, Beast of Yucca Flats, The Terror, Revolt of the Zombies, The Giant Gila Monster, The Fatal Hour, Dead Men Walk, The Mad Monster, Maniac, Metropolis, The Vampire Bat, The Ape, The Monster Maker, The Killer Shrews, The Brain That Wouldn't Die, King of the Zombies, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Bluebeard, The Corpse Vanishes, Night of the Living Dead, the original, Doomed to Die, Phantom of the Opera from the 1920s, which is the only one from this collection I have seen, and it's a silent movie. The Indestructible Man, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Nosferatu, Swamp Women, The World Gone Mad, Little Shop of Horrors with Jack Nicholson, Tormented, The Monster Walks, Monster from a Prehistoric Planet, The Gorilla, Shriek in the Night, Bloodlust, The Amazing Mr. X, Last Woman on Earth, The Bat, The House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price, Last Man on Earth, Dementia 13, and Phantom from 10,000 Leagues. The reason I put air quotes around the Phantom of the Opera silent film like that is because even though it says this is a silent film, near the end of the movie, like the last 10 minutes or so, there's full-on opera and spoken lines in it. So it's silent until the last like 10, 20 minutes before the credits roll. So yeah, up next we have The Phantom of the Opera 1962. This is from Hammer Films. And I believe this one gives a reason why the Phantom is disfigured. That, or I'm thinking of a different version. But, let's see. Anyway, here's this one. The Robert Englund version definitely gives a reason for why he's disfigured. He makes a deal with the devil to be loved for his music, and only his music, so he gets disfigured and has to like patchwork his face back together to look normal. Of course, Robert Englund was the original Freddy Krueger. This is the first of 2 R-rated Phantom of the Opera movies, and it's obvious to tell why when you watch it, because it's very bloody. Came out in 1989. So here we go. Next up, this is a triple feature, which 2 of them are on the same disc and 1 is separate from the rest. Phantom of the Opera from 1998 is separate from The Fear 2, Halloween Night, and Within the Rock from 1996. The Fear 2 is from 2004. But here you go. The disc itself said Fear 2 with Halloween Night on the front. So I gotta get the Fear 1 before watching that. But I have watched Within the Rock and this version of Phantom of the Opera, which is also very hard R. But yeah, here we go. So 2 really good movies and 1 that I have yet to determine whether it's a good movie or not because I need to get its predecessor. Another one that is a really good movie is the Joel Schumacher, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera. with Gerard Butler and Amy Rossum. Apparently, she was only 16 in this movie, like the actress herself, which makes the dynamic or both dynamics with her and or Raoul and the Phantom creepy age-wise, but oh well. We got Gerard Butler, Emmy Rossum, Patrick Wilson, um, the guy that played Aberforth Dumbledore is in this one as Monsieur Fearman, but he's not listed on the back of here for the cast members. It doesn't look like, and I don't know his real name anyway, so wouldn't help me if his name was on here. I also have an audio or the soundtrack for this and another soundtrack, the original London cast stage production soundtrack, both of which have 2 discs. In between this and this, which we'll get to in a second, I have spaces to get, I believe this one triple formatted, as well as a DVD and a Blu-ray space for DVD and Blu-ray of the 25th anniversary stage production Phantom of the Opera at I think Royal Albert Hall or Albert Royal Hall or whatever it's called, which really good version. And then a space for a DVD of this, which is a sequel to that 25th anniversary edition, Love Never Dies. I like to call it Phantom of the Opera 2 because it's a sequel to the stage production of, like it says right here, the sensational award-winning production of the sequel to the Phantom of the Opera. And this one's pretty good. It's set 10 years later. You find out that the Phantom and Christine have a kid. Raoul thinks it's his kid, thinks he's his son, and treats him like his own son, but you find out over the course of the story that it's actually the Phantom's son. The music in this one's not quite as iconic as this one's music is, but it's still pretty good. Up next we have Planet of the Apes. This is the original, right here, from 1967. I don't recognize any of the actors' names in here. There we go. Rated G. I also have the complete original collection or legacy collection of Planet of the Apes movies on Blu-ray with that same Planet of the Apes movie, the 1968 version, or 67. This one says 68 on the Blu-ray. With Beneath the Planet of the Apes, as well as Escape from Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. From 1970, 1971, 1972, and 1973 for the sequels there. I don't recognize any of the names listed on here. But here is the complete legacy collection. Is there anything inside? It has a little bit more information about the titles included. All but Conquest of the Further Planet of the Apes are rated G. That one had a theatrical PG rating, and it includes an unrated version as well, which contains material different from the original PG version. Isn't it an extended version? I guess it's an extended version. Same with Battle for the Planet of the Apes. It goes theatrical G rating and extended unrated. It has material different from the G rated version. Very cool. All right. Next up, I have Planet of the Apes. This one is from 2002 with Mark Wahlberg and Helena Bonham Carter. Tim Roth, Paul Giamatti right here. This version. There's Mark Wahlberg right there. This one's PG-13. That's weird. It says 2002 near the bottom of the case, but 2001 next to the runtime. So I'm going to go with the 2001 release year. The other one must be when it was released on disc. Then I have a slipcover DVD of Rise of the Planet of the Apes here. This is from the newer line of Planet of the Apes movies. Got James Franco in here. Brian Cox. Tom Felton. Draco Malfoy. Interesting. Once again, PG-13. But here's the front and the back. The slipcover looks the same as the case itself. I also have a Blu-ray of that one. So here's the Blu-ray. It didn't have a cool slipcover, so I kept this one as well. And I think this has a different design on it, a little bit, slightly different design on the back. But it's, I think, standalone Blu-ray. I think it just had one disc. Yeah. Okay. So we already covered who's in that one. And we have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And Gary Oldman is in this one. So that's cool. Gary Oldman's a cool guy. He was Sirius Black in Harry Potter and Commissioner Gordon in the Dark Knight trilogy. Or, well, James Gordon in that. I don't think he made it to Commissioner until the third movie. But anyway, I think it went Detective, then Captain, then Commissioner. Then we have War for the Planet of the Apes. Right here. This one has Woody Harrelson in it. I recognized his face on the back of the case before I saw his name. I was like, oh, that's Woody Harrelson. Cool. Yeah, I think that's the most recent of the Planet of the Apes movies. Then we have, moving on, we have Playback right here. Identical DVD case, identical DVD disc. The Blu-ray looks the same, but that's actually the design on both the DVD and the Blu-ray right there. And here's the back of the case here. This was a weird one. It's not bad. It's just a weird concept. I liked it. It was good enough. Last stack for this video, and there's a lot of Blu-rays / 4Ks right near the middle of this one that will, or near the bottom, I guess, or top technically, because these are upside down. But up first in this, so for some reason separate from, oh wait, never mind. Up first is the unrated and R-rated version of the feature Poison Ivy 2 Lily, right here. I've seen the first three, and I have the first three. There's also a fourth one that I have not been able to find yet, but I do want to get it because I like the franchise. Yeah, so here's that. Here's the trilogy collection of the first three. Drew Barrymore's in the original. Yeah. What else is in these? Drew Barrymore's in the original. I already said that though. The second one, we just went over it. Wow, Drew Barrymore's the only character's name or actress, actor, whatever name that I recognize from any of the three of these. But I like them all a good bit. I just noticed that the name of the character who's best friends with Drew Barrymore's character is Sylvie. I just noticed that. Of course, another iconic Sylvie is a Loki variant, although you don't want to call her that, in Loki seasons 1 and 2. She's like, don't call me Loki, call me I'm Sylvie now. I'm not a Loki. She's still a Loki variant, but hates being called a Loki variant. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have The Poltergeist of Borley Forest. Has nothing to do with the Poltergeist series like I thought it did. But it's not just I'm not disappointed by it. It's a good movie. It's just I thought when I got it, I thought it was the original Poltergeist movie, and it is not that. But it's still good though. Here it is. I do have all three Poltergeist movies plus the remake, but they're with the horror bundles because I think because my second and third Poltergeist movie were in the same case on the same disc together, so they're with multiple title bundles. The reason these 50 horror movie ones weren't with the bundles is because I wanted to keep it with the horror or with the family opera stuff. Up next we have Primal Fear Hard Evidence Edition with Richard Gere and Edward Norton. Who else is in this one? There's the only two names that I recognize. Okay then. But here we go. I think this is one of Edward Norton's earlier things. So it came out in 1996, but for some reason it references the Incredible Hulk and Fight Club on here, but that doesn't quite make sense because Incredible Hulk came out in 2008, and Fight Club, I'm not sure when that one came out, but I'm guessing when the Blu-ray edition version or Blu-ray version came out that those movies were a thing, but the movie was originally released in 96, it looks like. So there we go. Right there. Is there an insert? No. Okay. Next up, we have Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis, which has a sequel that we'll get to with the horror bundles. Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. But here we are. Here's this. I recognize this guy, but don't know his name. Dang it. Oh well. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next up we have when did this one come out? 2008 Prom Night remake. Theatrically, I think it would easily fall in line with PG-13. This is an unrated version, but it's fairly mild. But I enjoyed this version. It was good. Up next is a 2-movie collection with Birds and Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock movies. It has one of those cool like glow in the dark cases. The Birds was PG-13. I don't recognize any of the cast members there from 1963. Then Psycho has Anthony Perkins from 1968. And what's interesting about the original Psycho is that's the only one to be in black and white. 2, 3, 4, the remake, and Bates Motel, a hour-and-a-half movie in that's set after Psycho 4, are all in color, but this one is in black and white. I mean, it's a good movie. I really like it, but it's interesting that it's the only black and white one in its continuity. So yeah, haven't seen The Birds yet. Up next is all 4 of the original Psycho movies on Blu-ray. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4, The Beginning. And yeah, I like all 4 of these movies. They're all really good in my mind. So here's more of what it looks like under the slipcover. And the slipcover is slightly see-through. Same with the, or not the same with the case with the back, but anyway, does this have any? It has more information on the inside about the movies, cast-wise and whatnot. So, yeah, it has information on the first two here, and then 3 and 4 over here. But I do like this kind of slipcover where you can see the case through it like that. That's cool. Up next is DVD, a 1-disc DVD for Psycho 2, 3, 4, and that Bates Motel movie I mentioned earlier. This one is set after this one, where Anthony Perkins had passed away, and so did his character of Norman Bates in universe. But yeah, they're all pretty good. I did go back and watch this one. I first time viewed it. It's good. It's not quite the same, but it's good. I still liked it. Up next is the Psycho Vince Vaughn, or with Vince Vaughn and Aaron Hetch. Came out in 1998, it looks like. Julianne Moore is also in this. So yeah, good version. Good solid remake. I thought it was the original, so I used to have it in behind the other ones. But it's a remake clearly now. I know clearly it's a remake now. Then we have Bates Motel seasons 1 through 5. Season 1, front and back. Season 2, front and back. Season 3, front and back. Season 4, front and back. And Season 5, front and back. And this one in Season 5 has a twist on the original storyline, which designates that this is indeed in a different universe, because they have the Psycho, or like Psycho 1 version in the show, and they turn it on its head. But great series, very captivating. After watching the first 2 seasons, I was like, I need to order the rest. This is so good. So there you go. Next up, we have Psycho Gorman right here. It's an alright movie. It lives up to the gore, so it would be rated R, and it has some violence in it, but this is a not rated thing. From Shudder. So yeah, interesting character design for Mr. Psycho Gorman there. Up next is Pumpkinhead 1. I also have the 4th one, Pumpkinhead 4, but we'll get to that in just a second. I have 2, and because of that, I think I have like 2 spaces in between them or 4 spaces in between to get Blu-rays for this one, 2 and 3, and this one. I don't know how many are in the franchise overall, but I know there's at least 4. Is this a prequel or not at all? Doesn't look like it. Anyway, this one, so who's in this one? I don't recognize any of those names. Okay then. Came out 1988. It looks like Bizarre Fun, so I thought I'd check it out, but I want to get 2 and 3 first, and check out 1 through 4 in like a marathon style run. But I don't recognize any of the names on the back of this case either. But here's the 4th one, Blood Feud. Pumpkinhead 4 Blood Feud. Looks like interesting creature design, so that's cool. Up next, we have The First Purge, A Nation Reborn. I want to get the Purge TV series. I think there's 2 seasons for that. I haven't seen any of it, but I've seen all the movies. So I like the Purge movies. Here's the second one. Or at the time it was the first, but this one's directly called The First Purge, so this is just The Purge. But it was the first one to be released back in 2013. I don't recognize any. Ethan Hawke is in this, so I recognize his name. Do I recognize any names on this one? Nope, I do not. Okay. Up next, we have The Purge Anarchy, right here. Do I recognize any names on the back of this one? Negative. I do not. Okay. And then I got a slipcover for Purge election year, right here. I don't recall if the case itself looks the same underneath the slipcover or not. Looks like it does. So I don't recognize any of the names on this one either, but it does look the same as the slipcover. I'll even show them side by side, like that. On the slipcover, the title is raised so that you can feel the title on the case. Next up is The Forever Purge. Again, the title is raised up where you can feel it. Right here. Do I recognize any of the characters in this one? Cassidy Freeman. I recognize her name. And just hers. But all good movies. I enjoy all 5 Purge movies. Up next, we have a 4K 4K Blu-ray combo, and which I also have a standalone Blu-ray and a DVD with a DVD special feature disc of Rampage with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Who else is in this? I recognize 2 of the faces on here, but do I know their names? Probably not. We'll see. Naomi Harris, I recognize her name. She's one of the ladies that one of the 2 faces I recognize on the back of the case. But the one I don't know the name of is this guy. I know he was in Watchmen, the movie, but I don't know the actor's name. But good underrated movie. Based on a game I used to play a lot with a couple of my friends. And then we have Ready or Not. This is getting a sequel soon. I saw the ad when I was watching a show last night. So I gotta leave spaces for that to get triple formatted. And I gotta leave spaces for a DVD and a 4K combo of this one as well. Samara Weaving, Adam Brody, yeah. Let's just say I wouldn't want to be involved in the family that she's trying to be involved with. I'll read the blurb here. When a young bride, Samara Weaving, marries into a ridiculously rich and delightfully deranged family, her wedding night becomes her worst nightmare as she's forced to play a lethal game of hide and seek and must fight to stay alive. Co-starring Adam Brody, Mark O'Brien, Henry Christine. I don't know how that's pronounced. Andy McDowell. Ready or Not is a wicked comedy thriller that elevated elevates the phrase till death do us part to shocking new heights. I've seen, I think, half of this one. It's another one that where it's like I started watching it and then got distracted and forgot it was in the player or my 4K player and took it out and watched something else and haven't revisited it since. Up next we have Rear Window here. Don't recognize any of the cast members in this. Came out in 1982, looks like. One of Alfred Hitchcock's movies. Yeah. Okay. Up next, we have Red Riding Hood alternate cut with Amanda Seyfried. The theatrical and alternate cut are both included in this. Both are PG-13. Looks like they might have the same runtimes, 100 minutes each. Although I'd have to check on the discs because I think the DVD has a different runtime. But this was just a Blu-ray. I do have a DVD though. Gary Oldman is in this one as well. So here it is. I haven't watched either version of it for some reason, but I should do so. I should watch both. And you guys should as well, because it looks cool. Up next is Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence. Mary Louise Parker is also in this. She was in Red and Red 2. Retired Extremely Dangerous, that Red. And it's an alright movie. It's a bit inappropriate in the middle, or in the beginning, we'll put it that way. But yeah, here we go. Red Sparrow. Second to last here, we have Ben Affleck and Charlize Theron in Reindeer Games. And not gonna lie, pretty much the whole reason I got this is because at one point in the Avengers, Iron Man says to Loki, "Make a move, Reindeer Games." Reindeer Games. The whole reason I got this is because that one quote in Iron Man, and I haven't watched this one yet, but it sounds cool. But yeah, the two names I already stated are the only two I recognize from the cast list here. So yeah, I don't remember. Doesn't say when this came out in English or Roman numerals. But it's from Dimension Home Video, the same studio or same company that put out at least the first 3 Spy Kid movies. So that's interesting. Next up, we have The Resident with Hilary Swank and Jeffrey Dean Morgan from and has Christopher Lee in it. From Hammer Films Horror Studio. Who else is in this? Do I recognize anyone else's names or just those 3? Just those 3. Okay. Well, here's The Resident, and that is the last title for this video. We made it through all of them in an hour and 54 minutes and counting. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you make it all the way through this video, the code word for this one is going to be Rampage in all caps, which I'll put in the description as well. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, which I think I already said. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Sorry for repeating myself there.